Hello and welcome to this tutorial about Avid Liquid. In this tutorial I will show you the basics of using the interface, how you can import your media and edit your first movie. We will begin with importing some media. I have already prepared a project for this tutorial, and you will notice that my timeline slightly differs from the usual default template. One thing I always enable are the stereo mappings, and this basically creates two channels, one for left or tracks, one for left and one for right audio, instead of using a single track for both. Let's begin with importing some media. There are various ways you can do this. You can begin by clicking Import Media or use the input shortcut here at the top. Now we will locate a clip we want to add, press Open, and you will notice it has been added to our media library or bin. Now you can double click a clip and it will open in the source viewer. The source viewer allows you to scroll through your raw footage and determine small clips that you want to add to your movie. There are several controls for this window, which are front of the movie, back of the movie, step 1 frame, play from the cursor, and play your mark into out, which you create with these little buttons. This will clear your marks, and this will jump to either the first one or the last one. Now we have created a little clip and we are going to add it to our timeline. By clicking this arrow, you will notice it has added the little piece that we have selected from our entire clip on the timeline. There is a little zoom button here which allows you to increase or decrease the size of the timeline, making you able to zoom. You can also add a clip by simply dragging it from your media bin onto one of the tracks, and it will simply add the entire clip to the track that you have dragged it onto. Now we don't want this, so I will delete this. Now as you will see, when I scroll through the timeline, it will show in the right viewport what you are editing, and it basically has the same controls as the source window. You can mark pieces of a clip, as I will do now, and you will see the mark is indicated by a small rectangular blue square. You have the play button, which will play your entire timeline. You can play the mark into out. You can step frame by frame, beginning and first mark in and last mark in and mark out, and you can clear the marks. Now, one of the things I find a very nice feature of Liquid is that, say for example, you do not want to add the audio of the clip. You can see that 3 tracks are currently highlighted, and when I press the insert button, it will insert as well the video as the audio. Now if you don't want this, you can actually click on the tracks to de-highlight them or unhighlight, and if you press the button now, you will notice it only adds the video track. So if you want only audio, you deselect the video and select the audio, and you will notice it only adds the audio. You can do the same, for example, by channel. As you will notice here in the corner, there is a little check mark, and this indicates that this clip has already been or has been used on your timeline. Now there are a number of other icons, as you see here, very small, and these icons are to enable or disable audio or video on the current track. So if you would click on this little TV button, you will notice that the viewport will turn black because it is no longer displaying any video footage. The same goes for the audio button. If you disable them, it will no longer play sound for the entire track. Now this is a little boring clip, so let's spice it up a little. We have our imported spider, and let's mark a little piece that we are going to use. Now there is one thing that I find a little annoying. You would think that if you select this track and unselect the others, that it will add the video to the top one, and it doesn't. So we want to delete this. For this to be able to, you need to right click the track and add the little V icon to the front of it, and now you will notice once you play or click insert, it will add as well the video footage on that track and the audio footage. Now I don't want any audio here, so I add my little video clip, I put it over my Cricut, and once we scroll the timeline, we will notice that the spider is not displaying. This is because we have not enabled the video icon. So once we do that, you will see that, yes, here it goes. Now if we scroll the timeline, you will notice that it makes a so-called hard cut to our spider. This is not something that looks really fancy, so we will add a dissolve. And this is something that is a little different from the usual programs such as Adobe Premiere or Sony Vegas. It has the same principle of highlighting tracks, and then you have this little button here, add dissolve or crossfade. So we will select our track, add a cross dissolve. We want to start at the cut, and as you will notice, once we scroll the timeline, it now fades or dissolves to our spider. You will notice at the top of the screen there are these sudden yellow bars. They are called slices, and they are pieces in Avid liquid that require rendering. Now you can actually render these things on the background by clicking this little TV monitor here, this little E button, and it will give you the render view. Now if you click these include yellow slices, you will notice it starts rendering right away, and the yellow bar is turning into green. Green will mean that it has finished rendering this piece, and what this actually does is it creates a video file on the background with all the effects that you added, so it will play back a already rendered file, reducing the amount of calculations your computer needs to do in order to show this part of video. Now our clip is already a little more exciting, but not really that fantastic, so we will add a little music. I have already imported this, and you can simply drag an entire clip to your timeline, and by clicking the head or the tail, you can change its size. Now we want it to match up with our entire video, and now we have added some little music. Now don't forget to click the little icon or it will not play your sound. So this is pretty cool, but I actually would like some text. But the problem is, where do you put this? Because like in any video editing program, the top track is the one that is displayed the topmost. So by right clicking the tracks, you can add a track, and you see it creates a new one. We enable the video output, and let's go to the center of our effects, and you will notice here this little button is the CG titler. Now if you click it, it will open the program so-called Title Deco, and we can add some text. Now we will save this